We're still under the mask mandate, so we ask everybody to please keep their masks on while you're here in our building. Once you leave, of course, you can take them off if you're not on campus. 5th and 6th grade chorus under the direction of Drew Berg. I am so excited. So let's give a big round of applause for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, for being here for the only concert in the auditorium of the year. Yeah. So our 5th and 6th grade group this year was, not only was it unusual because of COVID, but it was also unusual because they didn't meet at the same time. In fact, Friday was the first time the 5th and 6th grade have performed together all year. So the 5th graders came for 20 minutes a week during their study hall, and the 6th graders came for 20 minutes a week during their study hall. And thank God, as time came on and I got to have the kids more, I got them for 40 minutes a week. But nonetheless, it was a very limited amount of time, so it became all about skill building. So we worked on a number of different songs throughout the year for fun to develop their skills, but what we also had was sort of a waxing and waning group size for a while. As the reality of school sort of set in, we had some kids who said, look, I've got to play catch up with all my work, I've got to work on projects, I've got to do whatever. So what you're seeing this is the cream of the crop. These are the kids who put in the time, effort, and the dedication throughout the year, as difficult as it got. And the next year are going to be our absolute leaders. This is the smallest elementary group I have ever had, but it was also the group that, when they came down Friday and sang, is the loudest I've ever had in elementary group B on their first rehearsal together, because they were just so ready with all the work. So what you're going to hear are, from this group, 3 songs, each one with a different skill set. Their first one, Little by Little, is a partner song. It's the type of thing they first learn to do harmony on. They sing in unison, then they split and they sing 2 different things at once, 2 total different songs. Next up, we are going to have Make Your Dreams Come True. Starts in unison, goes into harmonies, more traditional harmonies like you'd be used to. Then third is Changamano. It starts in harmonies and it stays in harmonies. It only has a couple of foreign words, but I always like to introduce them early. And some of you will already know these 3 songs because they're ones I use a lot because they are skill-building songs. So I thought if we only get a little time together, we're building those skills. So without further ado, our 5th and 6th grade chorus with everything we've done this year. Well, not everything. We got all those, Halloween Christmas songs. All right, let's do it. So first off, Little by Little. You ready?
Inch by inch, day by day, step by step, all the way, piece by piece, bit by bit, and little by little you're there. If you can't climb a mountain, then climb a hill. That's much better than standing still. Sometimes I want to sail away. Sometimes I want to stay at home. Sometimes I want to follow the sun or just be on my own. And I just can't help believing that life is what you want it to be.
Very good. See you in. So, God willing, this will be the last time you ever see us singing in masks, unless we're doing a performance for some reason, remembering 2020, which is here in our eye. Using music, you'll see us sometimes use it in the older grades when we have these very long sort of choral pieces. This year, for them, again, with that limited amount of time, was if you need it, use it. We only got one shot, so be comfortable, enjoy, have a good time. So you'll see some of the 7th and 8th graders are going to use it, some are not. 7th and 8th graders, you guys can come on in. 7th and 8th graders, come on in. Yeah, go. Shelby's waving you in. There you go. Thanks, Shelby. So our 7th and 8th graders are going to also do 3 pieces of their own for you. If you're at the senior high concert, you're actually going to hear a couple familiar songs, because originally we had talked about trying to combine all of them into one choral event when spacing regulations, and actually at this point we would have been able to, but at the time we didn't have enough space for the audience to do that. So 2 of the pieces are ones they were going to do with the senior high. We had a couple others worked out as well that we almost used instead, but nonetheless, you're going to hear the same type of idea here. Our first one, Alleluia Canon, absolutely counts on them to be independent. It's a canon in the traditional sense, right? One group starts, the next group begins the song while the other ones get to the same stop. We do it with row, 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 your boat a lot, things like that. This one is the Alleluia Canon. After that is something called the Wild Piece, a beautiful piece that really is all about these fleshed out choral harmonies. And following that is Uyedi Te Se, which is actually a piece that is written in English, Hebrew, Bosnian, and Arabic. It is a piece about unity, but it is most certainly a dive into foreign languages, but also very advanced, specific rhythmic stuff. So my thought was, if I'm only going to get a small group of kids, it's going to be a small group of kids who's going to be able to kick butt next year when others join in and need that leadership. They have been leaders throughout the whole year, all of them. We've had kids step up who I've had in the chorus for 3 years and I've never heard their voice. And then suddenly there they are singing out and taking the leadership role. This has been a phenomenal group to work with. So, are you ready to... No. All right. I'll move you forward. Anyone you talking about moving? So Candy, of course. I'll shift a little more down here. All right. I'll move you. Nice feet. You know, like those familiar, but we know. So we start off. I'm sure most of you know, but you might not have thought of it, with the cohort situation, they actually practiced together for the first time at 6:30 today. So this full group has not had the chance to work together until right now. So those of you who came in a little bit early, you were hearing their first ever time as a full group. While that's awful, again, think about what that means for their independent musicians. Think about what it means for our future moving forward to have kids take on that leadership role. So I have absolutely been trying to see the silver lining in all of this, and that is a massive silver lining. These kids have developed perhaps more than they would have if it was a larger group that I saw more often, because they had to. They had to put in extra work and energy on their own. So we'll take it. Something to
Something told the world peace. It was time to run.
Through the fields lay golden, something whispers slow.
Leaves were green and stirring.
Berries lost and lost, but beneath warm feathers, something caution frost. All the sagging orchards, steamed with amber spice,
But each moment different.
that remembered eyes. Summer sun was on their wings. Winter in their pride. When is the time to lift all our arms? Now we know we can see
You guys have been to the March concert in the past. When we do our full choral spectrum, you know I love to combine for a number. Well, we didn't get to combine all our groups. Comment your stuff. We didn't get to combine all of our groups, so we at least can combine a couple of them. So our last two pieces are ones that they both worked on. You'll have heard during the past choral probably because it is a favorite amongst the junior high group. I didn't realize how old the film Anastasia was until I look at the copyright date and it's 1997. And then I say, well, it just seems like it. But it is a favorite of theirs, so it's a great one to do as a combined number. And Arirang, which we'll be doing first, we're doing Arirang first, is a Korean folk song, so it starts off in Korean. It does translate itself poetically in English afterwards. So if they are enunciating well, you'll know what they wound up saying. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so thankful to be able to put this on for you. While we are not live streaming, we are recording. So any friends and family who couldn't be there, it will be uploaded to the same part. You can check the Barker webpage. We have a YouTube channel that has all of our music, band, and chorus concerts from throughout the year. So please check that if you want to see this again, or if you have a friend and family who couldn't make it today. Thank you for your continued support, and God willing, we will see you at 3 concerts next year, not just 1. That's the goal. All right, I'll do that. I'm going to turn off the volume a little bit so you guys can hear. Tilt the speaker in a little bit. Twist it so that we will see. Yeah, go ahead. Just twist it a little bit. Yeah, that's perfect. That's all right. So people next to the speaker, obviously, is going to be a little bit loud. All people. I mean next year.